Hey everybody, and welcome back. Thank you for tuning into this video. In the last video we did talk about the strafing input and how to set everything up together to where we can get our character to strafe back and left, right, moonwalk backward, and then we also just showed how we can switch into orientation, direction to movement, stuff like that. So and then we also updated our debugging UI with our characters, so that way we can see kind of like all our stats as we test everything. And I know in the last video I did mention something about doing a comment on the strafing input and how I was going to do it later, but I kind of changed my mind and went ahead and threw it in there because this is the comment that I had when I was doing a lot of the testing and stuff like that. I just had more stuff to it that involved like doing comparisons and stuff like that, but I've kind of narrowed it down to what it is. So this is a comment for y'all to see if you want to, go ahead and jot it down for, your own IA strafes. That way you kind of know what's going on. But just to kind of recap what we did in the previous videos, we set up the IA strafe, and then we created our update rotation function, where in here we did a sequence to get branches, and then this is where we set our strafe comes into play, and this is where we orient rotation to movement. And then on top of that, we set our rotation rates, that way we're slow in the air and then we're more fluid and a bit fast like on the ground. So just to kind of get into this new video now, I am kind of excited because we get to go into a little new part. But basically now we are going to be setting up aiming, and I think for this, I feel like this video is going to be relatively short because we're going to go through and set up just the IA action input and the nodes and everything, because what's going to happen, and I'll bring up my other screen here. So if we look at what I already have down, is that we're going to be setting up this aiming input, but what we'd also end up having to do is this updating camera function, which is going to be a lot to go through. And I will try my absolute best when we do go over this camera function to explain what is going on. But honestly, when it comes to this central part right here, I'm not quite sure what all these modifications are actually doing, although I do know kind of like what they're doing, because we'll be able to get good like what would you call it, representations, or not representations, or when we play we'll be able to see like what this stuff is doing. So I'm gonna try to explain it as best I can, but I'm going to save that for another video, just because I want to keep this one short and simple to at least get our aiming input action, and then have this, because we're going to be making struct files and like other stuff, and I know that one is probably going to be a long video just because I don't want to break it up into pieces and lose y'all throughout the pieces. So what we are going to do then, let me go ahead and well, actually this was for, let me move this back over and just kind of get right into this. So what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to go back into here, and we're going to open up our third person folder, go to input, and we're going to go to actions. And this time, what I am going to do, I know I didn't do it in the last video, but I'm going to do it here just to be safe, because I know in the last video I encountered issues with the input modes, or the input actions, just because I duplicated, the jump and how it kind of discombobulated me. So I'm going to just create one from scratch, and I will be placing triggers in the IMC, or the input mapping context, for what we'll need to do to hold it. So we're going to go ahead and create the aim. So we're going to call it IA aim and set it just like that. And then in the input mapping context on my other end, yeah, so I do actually have that. So let's go ahead and go back and go into the IMC, and in here let's go ahead and grab our aim. And now what we're going to do is we are going to set it to our right mouse button, because when you play games on PC, we're gonna you always want to hold the right mouse button, and we're going to set our triggers in here, and we're going to set 2 of them. So our first one is going to be pressed, so when we're pressing it, and as long as we have it pressed, we'll be aiming, and then upon released is when we let go of the aim. So go ahead and set those triggers just like that. and we're going to save. And I always save it like this because if you save it with this stuff open, when you open it up next time, if you saved it like this, then it'll always pop up like this. And like how you were seeing with the strafe where it just kept popping up when I was opening stuff, that's because of how it was save state previously. So if you close everything up back up like this and you hit Control-Shift-S, or you just go up here to save, it should save it in this position, so that way it's cleaner and doesn't, you know, go all glitchy and stuff when we try to add more inputs later. So now then, once we got that, let's go ahead and jump back into our BP third person template, and let's go ahead and we are going to create a variable called want to aim, and we are going to compile and save. And now for this, we aren't going to turn this one on by default like how we did with strafe. Strafing is probably going to be the only one that we have set by default. Everything else is going to be pretty much false or unchecked. So for here, what we're going to do is we're going to grab our IA aim. And here's something that was pretty cool that I found out that I didn't think about doing with the input action systems that we have. But what we're going to do is, I'm going to show you the cool thing, is we're going to Alt, click and drag out here just so we can set our wants to aim variable. Now, just like how they have it in the game animation sample project, is off of triggered, you go into the set node, and then they grab the action value and put it in wants to aim. And you know, like I think I mentioned in my first video or the second video, that I am relatively new to Unreal Engine, so I never gave it thought on how the action value worked. I just, you know, discounted it because I always was using, like, you know, started, completed, triggered, completed, you know, whatever to do my stuff. Well, the action value is cool because when it's a Boolean value and you're setting a Boolean node like wants to aim, when you trigger this input action, it will then convert this into a true value. So I didn't give that much thought, and it makes a lot of sense. And I thought that was really cool, and to have like a surefire way of having like true false values. Because I believe if this wasn't connected, I think we still get this to be set to true or false depending on if we trigger it or not. But this one guarantees that it's just like it is set true false when we actually trigger the event. So going off of that, what we're going to do next is we're going to add a branch node, and we're going to connect that. So when we, you know, trigger this, we set it to true, and then off of true, what we are going to do, and real quick, I'm going to move the wants to aim into here. We're going to grab our wants to strafe. So we're going to Alt, click and drag, and we're going to connect it to true. And what we're going to do here is we are going to set it back. We're going to set this to true just like how they have it. So just to kind of go off of this, or at least the comment that I have in my other project, is that we have this set to false manually, so that way when we press the input button or the trigger button to aim, we will want to aim. And then since we want to aim, then we will want to strafe. So we'll set our wants to strafe node to true. So basically what's going on is when we're doing our strafing, so like in the last video when we set up our strafe input action and our update rotation function, is whenever we trigger this, we are, you know, going on and off, on and off, on and off, stuff like that. Well, basically what this does is it doesn't really do anything right off the bat, because even though we want to set to true, but we have to trigger this to set this to true. But what we're doing here is when we're aiming, think about it like this. If you played like Red Dead Redemption 2 or, you know, any other game that involves aiming your gun in a third-person game, your character will aim, the camera will offset itself to like close in on your character, but then your character will start strafing. So that's what we want to do here, is we want to guarantee that we strafe while we are aiming. So basically we kind of reset our strafe just in case like we were, you know, orienting rotation to movement or anything like that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy my comment node and place it over here. And if y'all want to copy it, go ahead and pause the video and jot that down, just that way you know you know, what is going on with this section here for input action. So basically for this video, it is going to be relatively short. It is going to be very quick. So one of the things that we can do is, I didn't set it in my other project because it seems self-explanatory when you are aiming or whatnot. But what we can do is, just for the moment, since we don't actually have our camera stuff set up yet, because again, like I said, it's got to be saved for the next video. There's gonna be a lot of stuff that we have to create in that. Is let's go ahead and go to our game HUD and let's add a debugging text and whatnot to actually show that whether we are aiming or not. So I'm going to go ahead and grab 2 of the text blocks here, and let me see, rotation mode I set to 90. So for our first text block, let's set the Y position to 120 and then give it 20 on the X to get some padding on the left hand side. And then for the text block here, we're going to set to 120. And then let's see, 250. I think it's gonna be 250, but or it's probably gonna be shorter. But let's go back to the first text block and let's call it. Let's see. What we'll do is aiming question mark and then colon. I can't think of a better name for it at the moment, but that's what I'm gonna call it. Just that way we could say like aiming, not aiming, you know, stuff like that. So let's redo this. Let's see, not 80, sorry, keep it 120 there, and then it's the X position. Let's try 180. 180. Yeah, 180 looks good. All right, so let's go back to our text block, our last text block, and we're going to bind the function. So let's create a binding for it. And now let's go ahead and grab our character reference and then drag off and get the wants to aim variable. And then let's right click into the space and get a select node. Set that there. We get our true and false. And then let's create our 2 local text variables, and we're going to say aiming and not aiming, and then basically just kind of put them down, the same things down in here. So aiming, and then we're actually going to just not aiming. I'm going to make it more prominent with spaces here, and then let's go ahead and drag these in. So go ahead and put our aiming here, connect it to true, our not aiming, connect it to false, and connect that there. So let's go ahead and compile and save. And then if we hit play, so is aiming, we are currently not aiming, but then if we click and hold it, you can see that it is changing and we are aiming. So that's amazing. So now what you will see is I'm going to go ahead and change my rotation mode to orient rotation to movement. So you can see that we're not aiming and we are orienting our rotation, but as soon as I click it, look at that, we go back to aiming, we go to aiming, and we go back to using the controller desired rotation. So we do have our aiming working properly, and it is setting the rotation for us. So that's perfect. So we have the basic debugging and the Boolean values set, or at least the functionality set up, sorry, to do the aiming. So now what I'm going to do is, if you give me just a moment, I'm going to pull up the game animation sample project so you could see what our goal is for the next video. Alright, everybody, welcome back. I got the game animation sample up and running, and so as you can see, you know, it's pretty much familiar if you've already tested it and whatnot, and the things you can do. But here is where I'm going to show you what we will be working on in the next video. So as you can see right here, when we click on and hold the right mouse button, we do actually get a camera offset for our aiming. So I know you've seen tutorials for game animation sample where people are adding the ADLS dynamic menus or whatnot for the guns and weapons and stuff like that basically will utilize this, but they have created their own animation for it and stuff like that. So this is basically what we will be creating next, is just the camera offset. So just like in here, you can see that the character is strafing back and forth, which is what we set up in our project from scratch. But when you click the middle mouse button, as you can see, he can freely orient the movement, and then if I aim, he goes back to strafing, as you can see. So I think that's pretty cool stuff, and I am actually kind of excited to get into the next video to show you all that. It is just going to be, I will say, a long video, and I know at this point it's a running joke where I said I'm going to try to keep these videos short, sweet, to the point, but I think at this point it is just impossible because of what I have to try to cover in these videos. So you know what, I guess that's going to be my running joke for every video until it just gets old. But other than that, that's pretty much what we're going to be looking at within our GASP from scratch project, guys. So other than that, it's been awesome. I can't wait to see y'all in the next video, and I will see y'all then. Bye.